Hello, my name is Charles Ardinger, and I'll be working with you in the English 100 class you're about to take as your instructor. I'll be getting to know you fairly well over the course of the semester just by way of reading the assignments that you submit to me as writing. So I thought it was only fair that you know a little bit more about me. So I can tell you that I graduated from Cal State Fullerton with my master's degree in 2008. I've been working here at Coastline since 2013 in the English department, and I am in fact an expert on English grammar. I love English grammar. I like to talk about English grammar, and I like to answer questions about English grammar. So I'm hoping that over the course of the semester, if you have any questions about English grammar or anything that's going on in the class, you'll ask me questions. You'll send me an email or you'll communicate with me through the discussion board. So that's a little bit about me. I'm an expert in English grammar. I'm anxious to hear from you. I've been here for a while. Let me continue this introduction by showing you some aspects of the website that we'll be using as we continue through this Canvas course. So, this is our home page, English 100, class number 44820, the class you're in. And I want to show you some of the things that you'll see when you look at this home page and some of the ways that it can help you navigate through the class. To begin, I want you to notice that this home page has on it a schedule of your assignments in the class. For example, you'll notice that you have a discussion due on Saturday, February 6th. You've got some other stuff due on Sunday, February 7th, the student learning contract, an assignment, and a quiz, and so on throughout the semester. This can help you not get lost. You can check to see what you should be doing at any given time by looking at the home page and checking the date on your calendar. The second thing I want you to notice is that on the home page, you will see the beginning of an announcement. Every week, at least, I will post an announcement talking about some issue of grammar or some other issue I see in the class. And the way to read these announcements in full is to click on the title of the announcement, which in this class will always be the announcement's date and an explanation of what the announcement is about. So when we click on the announcement, we see the entire announcement, and you can read that at your leisure. With that in mind, let's go back home and take a look at another aspect of how this class works. Throughout the class, most of my interaction with you will be through feedback, will be through comments I make on the written work that you send me. And I want to show you the way to see those comments so that we can communicate in the best way possible. So the way to do that is to go to this link that says Grades and to click that. And what you will see when the page refreshes is a list of your assignments, the student introduction discussion, and so on. I have, as a fictional test student, already done an assignment. I've done the assignment for Module 2, and you can see that that assignment is ready to be looked at because it has a little blue dot, and because it has a grade of 65%. I did not do too well, so I might be curious to know what I did, how I can improve my work, or what I can learn from this. So, to get more detailed information, I click on the name of the assignment, and that brings me to a page that looks like this, with some links of its own to click on. First, I want to point out that because I grade with a rubric, you can click this link that says Show Rubric, and you will see how you scored in any particular aspect of the assignment. So in this assignment, the sentences seem to do pretty well with grammatical expectations. The paragraphs seem to be following the right pattern, but you'll notice the lower score here because the paragraphs don't seem to be doing their topic sentences in the way that the rubric calls for, and the very low score here because the paragraph does not seem to meet the length requirement. So that's something that as a student I can pick up on and apply to the next assignment. Now I can make this rubric go away by pressing this X, and that will give me a chance to look at the comments that the instructor leaves. In this case, this is the sample comment. I will be leaving comments of this kind on all of your assignments so that you can have more detailed information about what I saw in the assignment and how it can communicate more clearly. Also, you can click this link that says View Feedback, and that will lead you to a smaller version of the submission that you sent. Now this is particularly small because the screen I'm using to record is much smaller than my computer screen, so this is very shrunk down. You might probably see this more clearly on the screen that you use. What I want to point out is that this submission has annotations, which will appear like this in purple on the submission, and I will use those to suggest more academic word choices or to show where a sentence might confuse me as a reader. Also, there will be highlighted annotations. As you see, this is a highlight that leads to the annotation in this box, which is a more complex comment that I can't necessarily make with just this regular annotation. So these are ways that you can look at feedback that I give you, and we can communicate on your written assignments. Let's go back home, and I want to show you a particularly important aspect of this class. Notice on the home page that you can see my email address, in case you want to ask questions, and you also see that I have office hours, or more accurately, student meeting hours, that go from Thursdays at 6:30 to Thursdays at 8:30, or 1830 to 2000 if you like the military way of telling time. Here is the best way to access those Zoom meetings so that we can get together and have conversations about things that happen in class or about any other topic. Notice that on the home page you have this link to Confer Zoom. The way to get to your Zoom meeting is to start by clicking that link. When you click that link, you'll see a calendar that looks like this one. Now, you'll notice that this calendar doesn't seem to have any events on it, but that's because I'm recording this before next Thursday. Notice that as we progress, you'll see Thursday appear and a link that you can click to get to the Zoom meeting that is your student meeting hours. If you don't see that, you'll notice that there is also a link on the side of the calendar here that you can click and get the same result. You'll get to your student meeting hours and we can get together and talk about whatever is going on in the class or in the world. To entice you, I will tell you that each Zoom meeting that you attend can be worth 5 extra credit points. And as you'll find out, that's a pretty good chunk of an assignment. So it might be worth your while to drop by and chat a bit with me. And that is the introduction that I want to give you to the class that we'll be working in together. I want to say also thank you for enrolling in the class. Without students, there would be no need for any kind of class, and thus no need for me, and I enjoy feeling needed. So thank you. I also want to repeat that I am available if you want to ask me questions of any kind. I'm curious about what you want to know about, and I want to help you as much as I can get through the class as successfully as you want to. And finally, I will like to thank you for your time and attention.